2, 1.
Good evening. Today is January 11th, 2021, and this is, to my right is Mrs. Councilwoman Lynn Snee, and I am Bob Phillips, the chairman of the Streets and Sidewalks Committee. We're here this evening, if I can get my computer to work, to hear a staff recommendation on an agreement with the American Structure Point Incorporated for a safety study for West Main Street from Maryville to I-75 northbound. And you're Mr. Titterington, are you going to start the discussion?
Yeah, I can do that. So we, in looking long-term, have identified our next Ohio Public Works Commission set of projects. That will be the improvement of Stanfield Road from the south north to and through the Experiment Farm intersection as part of, and that improvement will happen phase 3, so it'll be several years away. However, given that that is one of our busiest intersections, we engaged with Structure Point to start looking at options on how to improve that intersection, which is very close to capacity. We've looked at a couple of options, including actually a roundabout. That is one thing that's being studied, would be a significant roundabout, or some standard, typical improvements to improve that. As we were going through it, we recognized with Structure Point's help that there was an opportunity to also look at the intersections north at Maryville, west at Maryville, and all the way east to the interstate. There are 6 stoplights, including the one in front of Walmart. So we would like to have Structure Point come in and work with us and work with ODOT on a safety study with the possibility of getting future grant dollars to make some safety improvements as part of the that corridor, and engage or get grant funds from Ohio Department of Transportation. So anticipating that we wanted to do this project in 2021, we did include a budget in the TIF, Tax Increment Financing Fund, that Council approved in December. And so we are asking for authorization to contract with American Structure Point, cost not to exceed $55,000. And we are not asking for emergency legislation.
Got it. Will this also take into consideration speed limits? Really, is this a very all-encompassing look?
Yes.
At all of this?
Speeds, volume, accident data, all of that goes into the equation.
There's a bit of realignment that's going to have to occur there also, because that intersection is offset slightly. It's not a straight 90-degree intersection.
Sure, you're right. It's not a right angle.
Right. Okay. Any other questions?
Those kind of recommendations is what this study would come back with, is what would be the safest way to redo that intersection?
Well, not just that intersection, but
the other ones included also.
All 6 of them. They would study all of those and what kind of improvements would reduce the amount of accidents or the potential for accidents along that corridor. Timing changes to the lights, additional lighting and other infrastructure improvements. Could involve realignment, although Structure Point has been looking at that as one of their options as they're looking at the Experiment Farm intersection.
And their familiarity will allow them to take into account what we're doing on Main Street leading out to 75.
Yes, although they're not engaged in that project, they do have a little bit of familiarity with it. That is west of you're talking about the West Main Street corridor project.
They're considering that that's being done and how it will in the future impact.
Timing-wise,
this?
yeah, yes.
Okay. That's all I have.
Thank you. Any other council people have any other questions on this project or the staff report?
Yeah, I have a question.
Mr. Schweizer, please.
What is the volume of cars that go through there on a daily basis?
Jill, do you have that?
I think it's around 40,000.
At one time, it was close to 44,000 that just went over the bridge over 75.
Yeah, it's less. It's less at that intersection because 70, 75 kind of attracts everybody. So
Mhm.
I think it's pre-COVID, it was around 35, 40,000, I think.
Would this be adding lanes, or is that what the study is going to tell us?
The work, okay, so at Experiment Farm, Structural Point is already drawing up a couple of options. One of those options would be adding lanes at the intersection to allow for double movement, possibly right and or left turns. This just expands on that and looks at the whole overall safety with the possibility of getting some grants to offset if we do some additional modifications. Again, not just at the Experiment Farm, but the other 5 intersections as well.
Okay. I have nothing further.
Thank you. Anyone else? Any audience have any comments, questions? All right, seeing none, Mrs. Snee, how do you wish to proceed with this?
Move forward.
It's unanimous with the committee that we move forward as staff is recommending with this amount, and there is no emergency legislation on this. Are there any other items to come before the Streets and Sidewalks Committee?
No, sir?
Then we are adjourned. Thank you all for attending.